Hello, this is Lady B, and today I'm bringing you the Cedar City, Utah Midsummer Renaissance Festival. And I have taken some videos I will be showing you about various activities and things that you can do here if you decide to come next year. It's a long-running fair. They've been doing this for over 35 years. Small, free to the public, but it's still very fun. I'm also going to bring you a small recipe from Platina, the very first printed cookbook on what you can do with cucumbers.
Look at the rock.
And we're back. Back home, the fair's over. It was a wonderful few days. And now it's time for the recipe. So I was telling you that it is from the very first ever printed cookbook. Now this is a reproduction, Platina de honesta voluptate. And I love this particular one because it has the scans of the actual original print on one side and then an English translation on the other. It was printed originally in Latin. And as promised, I'm going to give you the recipe on cucumbers. Now, these first cookbooks, and this is one of the cookbooks that really actually was the very beginning of modern cuisine, very beginning. And these weren't just about food, they were also all about health. So, for fun, I'm going to very quickly read to you what they had to say, or what Platina had to say about cucumbers. It says, first of all, I should have explained the nature and virtue of the cucumber, which Pliny asserts is highly superior to the melon. Frankly, I confess my mistake. The pleasure of eating melons completely carried me away. Now, cucumbers are not only better, but I always place them above all other food. There are 3 kinds of cucumbers. One is large and dark and not so harmful because it acts as a laxative, and because its coolness, it seems most accommodating to the stomach, especially in summer. Its leaves, when ground up with wine, are very effective on wounds, such as a dog bite. And its seed, given in a drink with mild wine, is soothing to the stomach. Another variety is the citrinus, as it is called in our time, because of its citrus fruit color. It generates cold and noxious humors from which proceed autumn fevers because it is difficult to digest and stays in the stomach longer than it should. Its seed, ground up and given as a drink, helps those suffering from fever and quenches their thirst. The serpentine variety, which takes its name from the snake, and rightly so, is the most harmful. Columella in these verses explains its properties. Dark and full the cucumber which is born, hyrus and sheltered as the snake in tangled glass. On its curved belly it lies, always coiled, poisonous its sting. The diseases of unfavorable summer. The first 2 varieties are eaten with the rind and seeds removed, cut up, dressed in salad and oil and vinegar. There are those who, to take away the chill, sprinkle them with spices. The Tuscans, who delight in fruits and vegetables, eat the serpentine variety with just the rind removed, with nothing but salt. Prince Tiberius was so fond of the cucumber that he studied it in every fashion and with every art, so that he could enjoy it in all seasons. The plants are so delicate that at the mere touch of a woman in her period, they die. Such is the power of her condition. So, while you are laughing at that, as I do enjoy laughing, I'm going to show you the very, very, very simple recipe that was just described. So, we start with some cucumber. Now, as described in the very first recipe, I have peeled these, taken the seeds out with a small spoon, and then just cut them up into bite-sized pieces. The next step is very simple. I have here some olive oil. Now this is an extra virgin olive oil, cold pressed. Very important. If you want to get this right, you want a cold press. You don't want the olive oil that's been heat treated. And it's going to have more flavor, and it's also better for you. So step 1 is, once I figure out how to open this, there we go, is you're going to drizzle a little olive oil on your cucumbers. Now, step 2, well, I guess cutting up cucumbers was step, and
peeling them and slicing was step 1. So this would really be 3. But either way, next step, you want some red wine vinegar. Now, you don't want to get just any red wine vinegar for this. All vinegars are not created equal. Spend a little more money. Look for one that has been barrel aged. A lot of vinegars, in order to get them to the market faster, they do chemical aging, and it makes them very acidic. And even when they water it down to the same acidity, the flavor's missing. You have the acidity, you have the vinegar, but you don't have the flavor. And what's the point of buying a specialty vinegar if you're not going for the flavor? If you don't, you might as well just use distilled. But this recipe, we want aged, 100% barrel aged red wine vinegar. And just like with the olive oil, we're just going to sprinkle it on top. That's it. And of course you can make as much of this as you want, any size, but we finish it off the same, and that is with salt. Sea salt if you have it, kosher if you don't, but you want a larger grain salt, and you're just going to sprinkle it on the top. Just like that. And don't be shy with the salt. You would be surprised how much it takes, but that's it. That's the whole dish. And especially in the summertime, this is wonderful. Now you do want to eat this right away, and when you eat it right away, it is very cooling. Got that little bit of tang, the richness from the oil, a little bit of saltiness from the salt. Really, really, really good. Savory, cooling to the body, which right now with the heat wave we've been having is a really good thing. But you do want to eat it right away. As soon as you do it, serve it, eat it. You can actually keep this in the fridge after you've put this on it. It's just after it's had time to sit with the salt and the vinegar and the olive oil, you pull it back out a few hours later, you're going to have more liquid. It will weep the water out from the cucumber and make a liquid that it will sit in, and you're basically going to end up making your own brine, and you pull it out after a few hours and it literally tastes like a pickle. Now, if you don't have access to the store for whatever reason and you're craving pickles, a couple of hours and you have something that tastes just like a pickle. As long as you have a cucumber, it will work. But for this recipe, you serve it fresh, and it is so refreshing. So we're gonna finish this off as soon as I'm done here, but I hope you have enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoy Platina's recipe for on cucumbers. Until next time, this is Lady B signing off. See you then.